Hello and good morning. Today we have with us Nanik Rupani, ex-president of the Indian Merchant Chamber. Hello, sir. Welcome to our podcast. As we've gathered here today, at the illustrious Geo Convention Center to talk about the National Legislators Conference Bharat and to sort of formulate a roadmap towards the future, which when the conference is going to be held in June and what we can achieve via this conference. So can you tell us what are the sort of experiential learnings that a legislator might hope to take away from a platform like NLC Bharat?
I think once they discuss the burning issues of any constituency or states, we should do a lot of homework and tell them where they can improve the life of a common man. Like I'm with healthcare industries. I'm a trustee of Lilavati Hospital. During pandemic, I used to get calls from the governor, many ministry from Delhi for the bed. Now we have to see that at least in future, if there is another pandemic, we should be ready. So whatever are the burning issues like improvement in slums, Bombay, almost 60% people live in slums. After 75 years, we can't provide them the basic needs, the cleanliness, and you cannot have a good health until the environments are clean.
Sure. So just sort of falling back on the pandemic point, Nanik, sir, is that, we were not really prepared to see a pandemic on such a large scale, and the sort of divide and gap in communication between different states was very visible. If at that time we could have learned from one state from another, the process of healing would have been much faster. It could have been fast forwarded monumentally. So will NLC and NLC Bharat go ahead and play a role of strengthening the network between different MLAs and MLCs across states? Do you see that happening?
I would say yes. You know why? Because that time, the biggest problem of all the hospitals was survival. Survival was difficult because a multi-billionaire also had to pay the same price. And a person who was working, say, about 10,000 rupees salary or 20, they are the same. Now, if a person can afford, a special room, so we also had a very big losses in Lilavati Hospital. So I told the government, many of them, why don't you have people who can pay, have and have-nots? For have-nots, we have to really give them all the benefit because after all, we are all human beings. So that policy was wrong. And that's the reason many hospitals, they could have closed down if the pandemic would have gone for 1 year more. I think they would have not been there on that time. So these are the issues. They should also go deep into studies, not only for the public, at the same time survival of the hospitals and healthcare institutions. So this is where we should bring in to their notice.
And more of a commercial acumen over there. But do you think that there is maybe a slight hesitancy between legislators to sort of learn from each other because they belong to different political parties and have different allegiances across the aisle? So do you think there's a sort of hesitancy there? And how can NLC sort of help to sort of solve this problem going ahead? How can NLC Bharat serve as a platform for learning for all of them?
See, my experience, I've been with many politicians, and one thing, MLCs, MLAs, they think they know everything. They are not to be, taught or anything. And there, you have to be a little diplomat to bring this point. If you tell them that you study this, they will straight away say that you don't teach us. Many times you go with a problem with a politician, they say, humko sikhata hai kya? So the diplomacy is the only way you can teach them. So they have to be people who present, they should know the art of networking, the art of speaking, and especially dealing. My whole life I have Vilas Rao Deshmukh. He had an opportunity to be in my office. He became chief minister from my office. 11 months he used to sit with me. And that time, so many politicians used to come and meet them. So they have to be handled in a very special way because they are very sensitive. And but the message can go. And this kind of conference, when all the MLAs are there, I think they can be taught. They can, whatever issues are there, it can be brought before them and there can be a solution also.
So I actually strongly agree with what you said that, NLC Bharat is a first of its kind of a platform where MLAs, MLCs can sort of come for a cross-diversity learning between each other. Brings me to my next question, which is a slightly more informal question that we always see that MLAs and MLCs specifically, these two categories of legislators are always sort of pointed fingers at and their work is always shown in a bad light. The public perception of them is always more of an antagonist than a protagonist. So film has has a big role to play in this. So does the media. Uh, why is this happening, and how can this issue be tackled via NLC Bharat?
I think, Bollywood movies and TV serials and all, it has a lot of impact with the younger generation. And that's what I spoke in the conference, that why only, there are good politicians, there are good MLAs. Why they are shown in poor light? See, today, if a negative news, you'll get a front page coverage. Positive news will be in small column. And I think the government also should issue a letter, or they should be told that don't show them only in a bad light. When you say that freedom of speech speech doesn't mean that you have to condemn the MLAs and MLCs who are doing good. Many of them, they are doing good job. So this should be really handled properly. And all the MLAs also should go to the respective chief minister, to the respective governors, even they should, that don't show them in a bad light. Say, today what you see on movies, a politician who has got, who's connected with drug cartel, black marketing, land grabbing, everything is negative, and they make money, TV and the Bollywood movies.
Their good work being shown, across various types of media. It seems like NLC Bharat will serve as the exact plug that is required to bridge this gap, because not only is there a culture of cross-learning between MLAs, there is also a culture of learning in a way where you can take it back to your districts. There is no ego tussle here because it's a non-partisan platform. So when you say that MLAs and MLCs have become an untouchable commodity, do you think this perception will be changed for the electorate via NLC Bharat? Does the platform have the power to sort of shape that perception going ahead?
I think if some, let's say, few case studies which have made a lot of difference in their lifetime of their constituency, or a poor people or a slum dweller, if these case studies are shown by NLC, I think it will have an impact. People will also try to, the MLAs and MLC will say, okay, these MLAs have done, let me try. And it can go in a positive way, though it will take time. But I think the government first priority should be there. Call them, all the Bollywood producers, and tell them to also show their good things. Why only politicians? 99% I think politicians are shown in a bad light. We should stop. This is my purpose.
Thank you, Anik sir, for joining us for this podcast.